All right guys, so this video we're gonna teach you how to pack your ruck properly. This is super important. Honestly, it's a pain in the ass to pack an actual ruck just to get the weight in it to go for ruck march. It doesn't replicate well as it does like when you're actually in training and you have all the equipment that's gonna fill your ruck. Because then you could manipulate the weight around to get the heavier stuff close to your back and high as you can. But when you're just trying to replicate that with weights, it's kind of a pain in the ass. We do have a solution for that and we're coming up with it right now. We just met with an engineer yesterday. So we are gonna come out with a ruck trainer that's gonna help keep that weight exactly where you want it, and it's gonna be awesome. So wait for that release. But let's talk about how to pack your ruck, whether you're in selection or training, to get the weight to stay where you want it. So the main thing you're gonna get is all your issued soft stuff, whether it's your sleeping bags or your cold weather gear. You're gonna wanna shove that at the bottom because you want the bottom just filled with is light, and you just need it filled. So that way you can put your weights in it and they'll stay where you want them. So just take a bunch of uniforms and pack it into the bottom. Make sure they're evenly spread out and packed in. That's gonna help so when you get your weights and you go to put your weights in, they stay where you want it. And where you want your weights to be placed is, like I said, think close and high. I want that weight to be as close to my back and right up between my shoulder blades. That's the ideal spot for your heaviest stuff. And the reason you'll see is when we're rucking is I'll be able to tip forward and manipulate that weight to my advantage. So if I want to move out, I could bend at the hips, it'll put that weight forward and it'll put me on my toes and I'll be able to move faster. If I want to slow it down, I'll just stand straight and the weight will stay right there. If you have it too low, it'll bounce on your butt, it'll pull on your shoulders, it'll pull your shoulders back, and it'll pull your back out of alignment, making your rucking a lot more painful than it needs to be. So make sure you have your weight close and high for the heaviest stuff in your pack. So as you can see, it's almost tipping over. Like if I close my ruck, my frame's right here, my weight's like over the back of the frame. That's super ideal. If I can keep it just over the frame, that's where I want it. So it's super close to my back and high. And when you're packing in all your equipment in selection and stuff like that, you're gonna fill every spot with something. It's always gonna be full. So just think, do a quick layout of your equipment, find the heaviest stuff, save that for last, put in your lighter, fluffier stuff. Your sleeping bag always goes at the bottom, and then start working that heavy stuff towards the center of your back. But for training, this is what we're gonna do. Now the hard part is just to suck down that ruck to get as tight as possible, so that way nothing shifts while we're rucking. So in case you guys are wondering, this rucksack is it's called a Malice pack made by Tactical Tailor. So it's a modified Alice. So the old Alice packs, a lot of the guys liked them a lot, but the problem is the frames would break and they're kind of shitty and uncomfortable. So Tactical Tailor did an upgraded version, which is the Malice pack. You're not gonna be able to use this in selection. You're gonna have to use the Molly 2. And that's the reason that we're having ours developed now, is so you could train with the Molly 2. So I'm gonna get my pack, my straps over the top, and then I'm gonna cinch it down as tight as possible. I don't care what you have in your pack, you always want it to be absolutely as tight packed in as possible once everything's inside of it. You don't want anything shifting. So if you don't have that much stuff in it, your pack's gonna look goofy like this, where it's all cinched up tight. That's exactly what you want. And then don't be that bag of ass in the military that leaves his straps floating around like this. You look like ate up, and you look like you don't care, and you look like shit. Always have retentions for your straps. Tie them up nice and neat. Make sure you do electrical tape or your elastic straps that come with your ruck. Don't leave your shit flapping around. Don't be that guy. All right, so now for training, that ruck's looking pretty good. Now, a last little thing that we're gonna do is take you through your MRE repack. We call it rat fucking your MRE, but really it's just a repack of this because this takes up too much room. So you're gonna take some tape and repack your MRE, and then I'll show you a little pro tip as to why people do this before they step out too. So you're gonna unpack your stuff. You got your main meal, you keep that separate. You don't need this. Applesauce, this could be good to have in your pocket, but mainly before you step out, you're trying to find a treat to have in your pocket. So when you start to feel like shit, you're feeling down and out, you're feeling like it's just wearing on you, you wanna have a little sugar that you could shove in your pocket. So if you get a piece of candy, even better. Put that in your pocket and it'll give you a little morale boost when you're feeling like crap. That we don't need. Those we don't need. First strike bar, keep that somewhere outside so you can have a snack when you stop. Cheese spread. Man, this is a shitty one. All right, so the best thing I got, unfortunately, is no candy. The best thing I have is an applesauce. So I'm gonna keep this applesauce in my pocket. And then once I'm feeling like I need a pick-me-up, I'll just open it up, shove in the applesauce, get some sugar in, and I'll start to feel a little better. Now the rest of it, I'm gonna take this main meal, put it in sideways. My strike bar, put that in sideways. Crackers. Everything's gonna get shoved down to the bottom as tight as you can. Crackers I don't want. Drink mix I don't want. All this stuff I don't want or need, so there's no reason to carry it. So before we take off, all that can go in the trash. So that just saved you a ton of weight in your ruck. When you're thinking about 6 MREs, instead of having those full MREs, look at this. Take a little bit of tape. Oh, ran out. Not that side. Wrap it around like that. Leave a little pull tab so you don't waste time, and boom. That is so much smaller than having all that junk in your ruck and all the air and that big MRE pouch. Now you could take like 6 of these meals, shove it into one pocket, and you just saved a ton of room and a ton of weight. All right, now I'm gonna put my treat in my pocket and we're pretty much ready to go. Let's go step off. Your experience is gonna be 10 times better than the person that just throws a bunch of shit on and goes out to the ruck. These could be the decisions that decide whether or not you get selected. All right, guys, we'll see you out on there.